and they went behind my back and asked him if he could work for another contractor. That is such bad business practice. That is extremely bad business practice. Okay, let's see. Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, coming up on 5:50 a.m. We are headed to Wayfair. By the time you watch this video, we've already probably started running trucks and hopefully getting paid. But yeah, got 5 to 6 guys lined up for basically this Wayfair account that we're going for. It's through another 3PL. It's not with Spirit Logistics. And they have a required training. It's similar to the orientation I do for my Lowe's account. So it's like an orientation, a little brief training on how to run the app, what the delivery process is like, and meet and greet. Of course, if you're new here, my name is Robert Rayner. I left my full-time mechanical engineering job to grow and scale my final mile white glove trucking business. Ended up hitting 20 trucks, and I'm now rebuilding the business from scratch with better systems, better processes, and documenting the entire process along the way. And so yeah, that's what we got going on today. And I've ran here before, but the 3PL company that was here before, about 6 months ago, was paying $100 less per day, which is very, very, very significant. So it's a whole new structure and model as far as compensation goes, same scope of work. And so I'm really looking forward to this one because it is low risk. It's a lot of drop off and it is furniture. So there's no water, electricity. It is lower risk and very hard to get damages and claims. So that's why I'm excited about this one. And like I said, got a bunch of guys lined up to come down here. Did just recently get a quote for one of my most recent drivers we're recruiting. It was $0 to add to the policy, which is crazy. $0 is crazy. Something else that happened last night was one of my drivers who was supposed to be here today got contacted by, I'm not gonna say who, by our 3PL partner on the other account that I'm running. And they went behind my back and asked him if he could work for another contractor. That is such bad business practice. That is extremely bad business practice. And so, of course, I'm going to let them know today, that, of course, I don't appreciate that. And I don't want them reaching out, contacting my guys behind my back, because now they're messing up my business and my operation. And, of course, I did have a talk with the guy last night, my contractor, my driver, and let him know, kind of what the deal was with that. And he does have a loyalty. He said he just really needs the money. And he couldn't make it the other day because his flight got canceled. And then he couldn't make it tomorrow because he's got a really big event for his son. And so I get it. I definitely get it. Man to man, you got to make money. You got stuff you got to do. I totally understand it. And that's why I had to have the conversation with him. And he let me know. And of course, I just let him know, I'll see what I can do. But long term, we are locked in. But I'm pulling up the Wayfair now. And let's go ahead and get this meet and greet going. Okay, so just wrapping up on the day. Of course, this morning we did end up having the Wayfair orientation. Had one guy overslept, didn't make it. Had one guy, told you about last night, ended up actually picking up a route. 3PL company went behind my back and got him to work. But either way, a lot of movement today. And these days definitely just get longer and longer. But this is what it looks like with startup. This is basically a startup right now. Tomorrow's gonna be our first time running 2 trucks. We have one with Spirit Logistics on the Lowe's account. We have our other one on the Wayfair account with RLX. And of course, I'm gonna be in it just for tomorrow. I have one driver who needed off really bad. He let me know days, weeks in advance. And so I really want to get the account started. And I have a helper who has been waiting. I can't make it up, probably like 2 or 3 weeks to get started working. So I figured I would hop in for it tomorrow. We got the truck sitting anyway. So get money in the truck, get my helper's feet wet, and get this contract started, because it's what we've been waiting on. And of course, long term, no, I never make the model based off of me being in the truck. That is not sustainable. That is not how I build a business. You're creating a job if you're doing that.
And so tomorrow, that's really all I'm prepared for. It's coming up on like 9 o'clock at night right now. I'm about to leave now actually to go move the truck from the Lowe's store to the Wayfair account just to save myself some time for tomorrow. Move equipment over, make sure the truck is also good for my other team that's gonna be running at Lowe's, and just making sure stuff is good to go. But this is the process. This is the process. It is timely. I also actually just had a meeting with my assistant earlier today, just going over recruiting, showing her and basically refined the recruiting pipeline for our 2 accounts. We're going for Spirit Logistics and RLX. We have 2 different pipelines because it's 2 different onboarding processes. The process is the same as far as background check, drug screen, yada, 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 but it differs on how it actually gets done. Because again, you have Lowe's using First Advantage to do their background checks, and then Riverstone Logistics does their own background checks through this company called Checker. And so it's just little nuances that are different between those 2 that I had to make 2 different pipelines for because it does look a little different based on the account. But again, because it's set up, I can now jump off of it and hand it over to my assistant. She's going to be taking over and doing the recruiting stuff on a part-time basis, of course. I'm going to be paying her because I'm at the point where I started to realize that it was not getting done with me trying to do it all. And so these are bottlenecks that I hit 6 years ago, but was working crazy hours, burning myself out. Now I know to delegate. And this is a part of the delegating process. But notice how first I had to document. I documented the entire recruiting process. But yes, in order to even delegate this task out of recruiting and handling and getting all these guys through the recruiting pipeline and onboarded with the business, I had to document that entire process. I have it all in my head, don't get me wrong. I can walk you through step by step every single thing that needs to be done to get somebody from an Indeed applicant to driving in the truck or being a helper in the truck. There's many steps between those 2 points, and it's all right here. So of course, that comes with prioritizing. When I get somebody, prioritizing what needs to be done first. I know I cannot add someone to my business as a driver without knowing how much it's going to cost first. So before I even submit them as a driver to the 3PL partner, I'm getting quotes with my insurance agent to figure out how much it's going to cost to add them first, and if it makes sense. If the number comes back under $1,000 a year, they can be a driver. If it comes back any higher, they're going to be a helper. Then the next thing we prioritize is getting their information to the 3PL broker. But that entire process can be a lot. But when you build systems for your business, it all gets so much easier. You're doing all the same stuff, still running the business, doing everything, but it gets a lot easier when you have systems and processes, and then you implement the people to get the job done. I'm big on automation. I actually realized today that it's something that I don't think will ever be able to be automated because there are so many nuances. So perfect example, I have a driver right now with Spirit Logistics. He is fully cleared and compliant and in the system and good to go with Spirit Logistics. And he actually even ended up making it onto the insurance policy. But how about the same driver did not clear and become compliant with Riverstone Logistics? Why? Because apparently for them, he had too many suspensions on his license. But at the same time, Spirit, he was fine. He was fine for my insurance. But stuff like that, that's what I mean when I say it's some stuff you really just can't completely automate to technology. And that's why you have that fine line between delegating and automating. Delegate, of course, is when you involve people. Automate is typically technology. And I teeter back and forth. But these are the things you have to instill to grow and scale your final mile, to really grow and scale any business. The stuff I teach and the stuff I do, I apply to all of my businesses, and it can be applied to any and every business. I just started out in finding my white glove, and that's why I'm now doing it and showing it from this perspective. But that's the power of this stuff. That's the power of this stuff, and the power of basically the stuff I teach and working with me one-on-one. That's really it. I know tomorrow I did call off a meeting. That was just for some government contracting stuff, but it can always be pushed off. Beware too of distractions. Be very, very aware of distractions, because those are the things that are going to hold you back. And focus. I heard a recent definition of focus not too long ago, that focus is how many things you have the ability to say no to. That's the true definition of focus. And I'm abiding by it. I'm abiding by it. Because I think about just the meetings and stuff that keeps coming up and popping up. I had another opportunity, just a random phone call today, with an opportunity that came up. It's more related to trucking, so it might not be a distraction. But I get such a tunnel vision and a narrow focus on what it is that I'm going after and going for. I block out so much other stuff. So much other stuff. And I think that's what's needed. I think that's what's needed. It requires a certain level of commitment to hit and achieve the goals that you're going for. You know, to think that, I'm not gonna say you can't have it all, but when you figure out how to do that, let me know. I just know when you're going after something, especially like this, it requires a certain level of commitment and sacrifice in order to get there. And I'm willing to see it through. I'm willing to see it through. Obviously, I can do it. It's actually not any easier. It's not any easier. Right now, I think, because I'm coming from a spot where I've done it. I've gotten the business grown and scaled to 20 trucks. But I'm in a position now where I'm having to restart and do it all over again. And you would think, oh, you've already done it once, so it's easy for you to do it. It's really not. I still have the same setbacks. I still have the same hurdles. But again, I've systemized the business so those things, those setbacks don't really feel like setbacks. And closed doors are just closed doors for a reason. And I truly believe in that. And so, perfect example, that driver I just told you about that couldn't get compliant with RLX. To me, that was just the perfect go ahead. It turns out he's actually closer to the Lowe's account. He lives closer to the Lowe's account than RLX anyway. So that was it. It was a no-brainer. You're just going to work at Lowe's. And you don't have to think about it. But you can see that stuff as a hurdle. It's like, oh man, no, he can't work over there. Oh, what am I going to do? It's like, no. It just made your job actually a lot easier. You can't work him down there, so now you have to put another driver down there. And you just got to see, you start playing chess. That's another thing you learn with this business. When you have a lot of trucks and a lot of different guys, a lot of different personalities, a lot of different work styles, you start playing chess with them. You're not playing checkers, you're playing chess. Because this person lives over here, it's logistics. There's so much movement and so many little factors that you have to take into account in order to have your business running stably or stable, that you have to look at all the different scenarios and different pieces and parts that are moving to make the whole system go round. So I have a team right now between my businesses. How many people is it? I've got people working on my sales side, for my coaching side, obviously on the trucking side, with the recruiting side, and she's going to pick up payroll, just all these different things. There are not enough hours in the day to manage everything that I have going on for one person. But that is the power of systemizing. And I could go all day. But I gotta go move some trucks. It's getting late, and I got an early route tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this video or found any of it helpful or valuable, of course, be sure to hit the link in the description, join the Final Mile Hustle. And outside of that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the journey.